Welcome to Divine Couples. Your host, Naomi Slater, will awaken your passion, deepen your intimacy, and invite healing into your relationships, working towards accessing higher levels of consciousness in all areas of your life. Come with us on this journey to explore and experience your fullest potential.
You are listening to Society Bites Radio, social interaction for the mind and soul. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Naomi Slater, and you have tuned in to Divine Couples, adding intimacy, passion, and healing to your lives. BLISS PREMA is a visionary, innovator, and steward of our rapidly awakening consciousness, working globally with transformation and expansion. She is the creator of the revolutionary Conscious Evolver healing and coaching system, the Initiate Circle Acceleration Program, and of a forthcoming memoir. Her service includes the amplification and evolution of the old human into a new cosmic species. As a spiritually attuned futurist, she consciously assists with raising the frequency of the collective with positive purpose, loving intention, and accelerated awareness. BLISS acknowledges and honors the indomitable spark within everyone and teaches others to acknowledge and amplify their inherent creator abilities. BLISS is an energy activator and has the ability to channel source energy. She is a keynote speaker at conferences and summits across Canada and the U.S., an initiator of personal power and a coach of cosmic evolution. As a result of her teachings, her work has been featured in many podcasts, interviews, newspapers, magazines, television, and radio programs. BLISS, it's so amazing to have you on the show.
It's such an honor to be here. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you. So before actually diving in, I have to say how we met, because we met at a very pivotal point in my life, and I'm sure probably in yours too.
Of course.
But we met in an ashram in India, and we were receiving the teachings from Swami Govindananda. And we were, of course, I had just finished my teacher training, and I was assisting for your teacher training, the yoga teacher training course that we did. And that was how we met. And that was a very, very just pivotal time spiritually for my awakening and my development. So.
And what I love about that was it was in 2006, and we've lived in different parts of the world since then. And to be able to maintain a connection where two people are just meeting in India so long ago is so magical.
It is magical. It was such a magical time. So blessed to have met you and to still be in touch with you.
Likewise.
So BLISS, you're a source energy healer. Can you tell us what that means?
I think the ability to step into healing is an inherent birthright that every human on this planet has access to. And I think there comes a point in time where a large portion of us recognize that, being in this experience of life and just being the experiencer is not enough. And so there becomes this desire to step into service of others. And so I think for myself, that was a path that I had been following starting in my early 30s. And then, I'd started off by getting Reiki level 1 and learning how to give the Indian head massage. And then something happened in 2017 where I was doing a lot of dancing. And for me, when I dance, I really am able to connect into my soul space. And the more I danced and the more I connected into my soul space, I recognized that there was an even deeper path to go to. And as you mentioned, the awakenings that we have, what ended up happening was I was given a series of guidance or directions, which included doing lots of fasts, going to sweats, like First Nation sweats. And then it began a journey of actually getting what I call activations. And so I
Mm-hmm.
would receive activations, which would be this like mass amount of energies flowing through my body. And so working with this energy following, I went on a long, uh, a very, very powerful journey all through the States to some vortexes and here in Canada as well. And so then to be able to transmit the energy from the activations from where it's coming from and then into this reality and working with humans that are really wanting to go into that awakened, conscious, and sovereign space.
Wow, that is incredible. Can you explain what an activation is? What does that feel like?
You know, I've come to understand that it's going to be unique to each individual based on
Mm,
everyone's own makeup, their own resilience, their own desire to receive. There's
mm-hmm.
there's a real what I've learned is there's a really big balance between what it is, the work that you need to do on yourself, and then the offering of that space that has been created within you so that you can receive. So for me
Mm,
personally, I've been designed very, very resilient. And so for me, it was if you can imagine what source energy is, it's the culmination of every single experience that's happening to every sentient being simultaneously. So for me, in those moments, and sometimes it would last for 20 minutes, sometimes it would last up to 12 hours, and all I could do was breathe, because in those moments, what how source feels is the extreme of every single polarity happening simultaneously. So I would be feeling uh, extreme joy, and then unhappiness, or extreme pleasure and extreme pain. My heart would be bursting with absolute love, and then feeling the crushingness of hate. And so it was like
mm, wow.
the polarity of the all
Yeah.
simultaneously rushing. So I likened it to lightning bolts. So I've been using the emoticon lightning bolts since this has been happening, and basically it means high voltage. So that's what it felt like for me personally. There's been quite a few people in my reality that I've connected through with Facebook, and everyone experiences it in their own way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can attest to that without a
Mm-hmm.
doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you have developed, through all of these activations that you've gone through and everything that you've received, you've developed a method called the Conscious Evolver. Can you tell us
Mm-hmm.
about it?
Yes, with pleasure. And the beauty of the Conscious Evolver is that it was transmitted to me right around the Mayan prophecy of 2012. And so
Hmm.
I had received guidance to give away everything we own, walk away from my flourishing career of giving Indian head massages and teaching Reiki. And we had just bought a home, and the message was get to Hawaii. And so for 3 months, I waited. And it's funny because in my journal, I'm like, I'm waiting for a big lightning bolt. Be
And you
careful
and
what
you
you
got
wish
it.
for. I sure did. And so I kept waiting, but there was a journey that was happening, and I was documenting it while I journaled. And then we went to a beautiful cabin on one of the Gulf Islands here in west coast of BC. And one moment, I literally had to go running to the bathroom. And at the time, I had no idea what was happening. I actually thought it was food poisoning, in my, limited medical experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was in the bathroom, and it was that same experience, mass voltage energy flowing through me. And I actually almost went into shock. I was on the bathroom floor, and almost like what's the word, you know uh, oh, yeah, like just shaking and going into shock and not being able to breathe, and like it was almost like a seizure. And so it finally passed, And then what happened every night for the next 8 nights was I got woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I just started to channel, all I could do was write to keep up. It was coming through me.
Wow.
And then during that time, I started getting visions. So I saw a vision of an octagon. And so I was like, okay, an octagon, it's got 8 parts. And so I knew that whatever was coming through to me had 8 steps. And so by the end of the 8 days, I actually had like a fully written manual that word for
Jeez.
word was precise. And these 8 steps that literally help humans evolve their consciousness step by step so that you know exactly what you can expect. So, the way that the conscious evolver healing system works is if there's any aspects of your life that are looking for an upgrade, need healing, require improvement, or
Mm.
need to be evolved, you can start with step one and you'll be told exactly what is happening in your psyche, in your energy field, in your biology. There's chakras associated with it. And then the beauty of the conscious evolver is then you know what to expect, you know what to work towards for the next step. And then by the time you evolve that aspect of yourself, when you get to step 8, you've reached a higher purpose. And
Mm.
so many people that I've met and shared with during conferences, everyone always seems to be a little bit stuck on finding their purpose. And so this really helps people consciously evolve all aspects of their life on a continual basis.
Is finding your purpose one of the steps in the conscious evolver?
Well, what we do is I've created it into categories. So we want to focus on love as an aspect to evolve into our higher purpose. We
Mm.
want to look at our careers, our passion, and evolve that into our higher purpose. We look at lifestyle and we look at all the challenges in life that are hard to describe in the moment.
Mm.
And so we look at all these aspects, and those are what we are constantly driving towards getting into higher purpose.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Mm.
I just felt goosebumps all over my body. That's so connected and just
Well,
amazing.
and what I love about it is that it was transmitted through me from
Yeah.
another space and time, obviously from a space and time where our evolution is cared for. There is help coming to us into this reality and in such an easy way. So it
Mm.
it was designed so that everyone could have access to it. And then I'm so honored that I was asked to steward it, and so I've been stewarding it and sharing it since 2012.
Amazing. So
Hmm.
we talked about this just a little bit, but what was your journey like to be able to develop these channeling abilities?
Well, I think the activations are a key part
Yeah.
of that for me personally, in
Yeah.
that every time that the activations came through, I had done the work. So that's where the conscious evolver helps. Is it's like, rather than being a dense, reactive, and unhappy human, we now have the ability to evolve those aspects of ourselves into a higher frequency. And as we evolve into a higher frequency, we create more space within our being that now has access to higher levels of consciousness that come with those higher levels of frequency as we raise ourselves out of the dense and unhappy and fearful states. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
as I was receiving those activations and incorporating the conscious evolver into my world, it's like carving out, literally carving out space that can then be offered up and then receive that higher state of consciousness. So for me, that's what the channeling has become,
Yeah.
is an ability to assimilate this consciousness from another space and time and then to share the information.
You're out of this world, Bliss, for real. So
And yet very human at the same time too.